So China Rising dropped a couple of days ago, and thank God, because for a while for me Battlefield 4 has started to feel like a game in dire need of DLC. Now I do really enjoy the game, but the percentage of maps on the base game that have blown me away is lower than I expected, so as much as I have been enjoying the game, it has started to feel a little bit dry and I've been ready for something new. So China Rising came, and thank God for that refreshing feeling of new maps to play on. So I've had a good go on these maps, I've tried the various game modes, and one thing I will say is this actually feels like two Battlefield 3 DLCs. And let me explain what I mean by that. With Battlefield 3, when a DLC came out, it felt like it was aimed at a specific game mode. For example, you had the Close Quarters DLC, and you could only play Conquest Domination on the Close Quarters maps. What I love about Battlefield 4 is the fact that you can play on Domination on all the maps. Similarly, when you played Armoured Kill, it felt like those maps really were designed for the big vehicle-based games of Conquest because of their sheer size. Now with China Rising, this feels like those two DLCs put together in my opinion. If you play Domination on the maps, they feel very much like Battlefield 3 Close Quarters style maps. They're very small, very compact, and I personally believe the Domination versions of these maps are smaller than the Domination maps on the base game. Conversely, for Conquest, the maps are absolutely massive. Now this is why I personally haven't played much Conquest on these maps. As you can see from the footage in the background, the scale of these maps is absolutely immense. It feels like multiple maps rolled into one. And although I'm not particularly enjoying Conquest on them because it feels like, unless you've got 64 men in a server, infantry-only Conquest is going to feel just empty, and it's going to feel like DayZ running simulator. It feels like you really need vehicles on these maps to make them work to their full potential. And I'm not a fan of vehicles, I like to do infantry on infantry. So I do enjoy a bit of Conquest, but I enjoy myself a lot more on Domination. But as you can see in the background, the scale of these maps is massive, and I'm really impressed. It is a wonderful piece of gaming architecture, and really shows how far the gaming industry has come on in terms of the quality of the product visually that they can produce. These maps look incredible, and the same on Domination. Now Domination is where I have my most fun on China Rising. So this is just a review of the maps, and I've played a lot of Domination on these 4 maps. Personally, my favourite so far is probably Dragon's Pass, simply because it's just a laid flat out part of the map. There are no camping spots. You've got the little sort of, I think they're called deer stands, I'll call them, the little steps up to a little box you can camp in, but you won't last long because this is a map where you've got to keep moving. This promotes people to keep moving, so I love this map. I love the fact that there are no camping spots. Now Altai Range, again, a great map, very close quarters, and it feels a bit like some of the Battlefield 3 close quarters maps with the fact you've got these buildings to keep running in and out of. But once again, they have kind of put in the concept of let's stick a roof on and whoever controls the roof controls the map. Having said that, you do seem to have more power than on other maps to get people off the roof. It's not like Siege of Shanghai, where if they've got the roof they can just pretty much control the entire game. The only way up is one elevator or a ladder. There's multiple routes up to these roofs, but more importantly, you can actually get above the level of the roof by going into the mountains that surround it. So it is harder to camp on the roof on this because of the fact that even if you are on the roof, there's a chance there could be someone higher up than you. So again, it's harder to camp on a roof and harder to take advantage of what I like to call the Dice Dedicated Dickhead Spot, or DDDS. Now Guilin Peaks, or Guilin Peaks, or Guilin Peaks, or whatever you want to call it, no one really knows, is, this map is so beautiful, it looks incredible. I mean, on Conquest, I was blown away. And again, on Domination, I absolutely love it. It's a bit clusterfucky. In fact, if any map ever justified the phrase, well, that escalated quickly, it's this map. Suddenly, out of nowhere, you're just getting shot from every single angle, and I love the chaos. It's such a chaotic map, and it looks beautiful. It reminds me, and before you start shouting at me, this is a good thing, it reminds me of a map on Halo 4. Now, if you played Halo 4, I'm talking about the map called Abandon, which had like a central building in a really sort of extraterrestrial jungle surrounding it, and this is based in a jungle sort of environment with lots of little caves like there were on the Halo 4 map, so it reminds me of that, and it's a really beautiful map. The only map I'm not a big fan of, I think it's brilliant for Conquest but not very good for Domination, is Silk Road. And the reason for this is, I see where they were going with it, and to me it reminds me a little bit of a cross between a Sandy Noshar Canals and Countdown for COD 4. Now I actually typed this into the chat when I was playing on the map saying, does anybody else think this feels a bit like a cross between Noshar Canals and Countdown? And the admin came back and said, if you mention COD again, I will ban you. So, to which I replied, why? COD 4 was a great game. And he said, well, all dickheads play COD, pretty much. He didn't quite see the hypocrisy and irony behind what he was saying all dickheads play Call of Duty. Made him sound like a bit of a dickhead. And the fact that he threatened to ban somebody for mentioning Call of Duty is just unbelievable, but I'll not talk about that further. But my main gripe, my main problem with Silk Road is the fact it just feels a bit meh, a little bit bland on Domination. And also, those two curved roofs, those two hangars. The DLC have been out a couple of hours and there are already squads of people laid on those roofs, really taking advantage of the fact that DICE have just stuck a massive DDDS, massive DICE dedicated dickhead spot into this map. So that's the one that I try and avoid, but the other three I absolutely love. And throughout the duration of this video you've seen the various maps, mainly for Domination, going off in the background. So I want to know if you played China Rising as well, what you think of it. My summary is I absolutely love it for Domination. It has really refreshed the game for me and reassured me that this game really was worth my investment. The maps look stunning, and if all the other DLCs are to this level, I'll be very happy, because it feels like multiple DLCs in one. The fact you got a choice between close quarters, combat, a massive open map, you know, it feels like the maps have been very well designed for both those. So like I said, I love it for Domination, but I will probably not play it much for Conquest because it feels too much like Armoured Kill. And I wasn't a fan of Armoured Kill, I don't like vehicle-based combat, but I'm pretty sure a massive infantry on infantry match could still be fun on these maps. But Domination is the way to go for me with these. And actually it feels much better than Domination on all the base maps. So yeah, I want your opinions as well. Have you played China Rising? Do you enjoy it? Have you not tried it yet? If so, I would recommend getting this DLC. It is really, really good and makes the game feel refreshing again. But that's basically my summary. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like. Please also leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't already for a chance to win a physical pair of Battlefield 4 dog tags. But in the meantime, you guys take care of yourselves and I hope to see you all very soon.